Good evening, you fantastic and glorious degenerates of this floating rock that we call Earth. Welcome back to Off the Wire. I am your host, Noel Lynn, the Cajun Libertarian. We had some technical difficulties to start the show. I got through damn near all of what I wanted to go through and still wound up with just extremely, incredibly terrible tech difficulties. So here we are back again in efforts to fix it. So please let me know if I still have audio difficulties, right? Because wow, this is a massively important freaking topic. I'm just, it's so frustrating that doesn't matter what I do, they still try to shut me down and kill the live. I don't know what happened, but that being said, before we get started, again, please subscribe to the channel, like, share the show, and we'll get right off into it. I gotta give my my guy a shout out because he's doing extraordinarily massive things. And so let's hear a word from Spike Cohen. You're listening to one of the fastest and largest growing podcasts on the planet. Here's Spike.
The game plan of You Are the Power is pretty simple. We find people who are being harmed or abused or neglected or mistreated by their local governments. And this is my life's work. We want to help people.
This is something that has already began to affect real change. This isn't some distant, futuristic, utopian dream. It's already happening. It's making its course. It's making waves right now as we speak.
If you want to learn how to become an effective activist and then to do actual activism and actually help people now, not wait for, like you said, some distant utopian future where libertarians take over the world and leave everyone alone. If you want to do that now, that's what we're doing. This next year is going to be the year that people see what liberty actually looks like. Not what it sounds like, not what our philosophy is, but what the actual results and idea, what the solutions behind what we do. So that's what I'm doing with You Are the Power. I would love for you to be a part of it. YouAreThePower.net. We'd love for you to become a member. And this is my life's work.
That's right. Amen. Go check out YouAreThePower.net. There it is right there on the screen. YouAreThePower.net. Go check out what Spike is doing. If my audio is still messing up, then please let me know in the comment section. But it feels like everything is going okay. So please go check out YouAreThePower.net because they're affecting real change. And that is me on the audio podcast saying this is not some utopic, futuristic, idea. This is happening right now, and YouAreThePower.net with Spike Cohen. They are affecting real change. All right, let's get right into it. Some of you may not know that I experienced some really severe technical difficulties while I was going through things. So I am going to kind of run through this pretty automatically. So please bear with me. But this is actually very big breaking news coming from a government state department. So let's get into it. Health alert on mRNA COVID-19 shot safety from the Florida Department of Health. So you can find this on floridahealth.gov. That's floridahealth.gov. FLHealth.gov. You can contact them at Communications Office, News Media at FLHealth.gov. That's News Media at FLHealth.gov. This is major, major. You can call them at 850-245-4111. 850-245-4111. All right. The COVID-19 pandemic brought many challenges that the health and medical field have never encountered. Although the initial response, was led by a sense of urgency and crisis management, the state surgeon general believes it is critical that as public health professionals, responses are adapted to the present to chart a future guided by data. The state surgeon general is notifying the healthcare sector and public of a substantial increase in vaccine adverse event reporting system. That would be VAERS, VAERS. Sorry. Reports from Florida after the COVID-19 shot rollout. In Florida alone, there was a 1,700% increase in vaccine reports, or VAERS, Vaccine Adverse Effect Reporting System. After the release of the COVID-19 shot, compared to an increase of 400% in overall vaccine administration for the same time period. Now, I need to remind everyone that this is a state government website. I don't care the opinion of the person running the state, which is actually the people, right? We, the people, run our states. We, the people, run our government. Or we're supposed to anyway. However, this is coming from an official government website, YouTube. Please leave me alone. I'm only reporting what a literal state government website is saying. All right. Audio is working. Absolutely. Amen. Thank you. I am so sorry for screwing it up the last time. It is 100% my fault. I will just tell you right now. It's 100% my fault. And I know that. Like, it's not a question. It's my fault. I am so sorry. All right. Let's keep going. The state surgeon general is notifying the healthcare sector and public of a substantial increase in vaccine adverse event reporting system, VAERS. Reports from Florida after the COVID-19 shot rollout. In Florida alone, there was a 1,700% increase in VAERS reports after the release of the COVID-19 shot, compared to an increase of 400% in overall vaccine administration for the same time period. The reporting of life-threatening conditions increased over 4,000. Let me repeat. The reporting of life-threatening conditions increased over 4,400%. This is a novel increase in research to better. This is a novel increase and was not seen during the 2009 H1N1 vaccination campaign. There is a need for additional unbiased research to better understand the COVID-19 vaccine's short and long-term effects. The findings in Florida are consistent with various studies that continue to uncover such risks. To further evaluate this, the Surgeon General wrote a letter to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, aka the FDA, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, aka the CDC, illustrating the risk factors associated with the mRNA COVID-19 shots and emphasizing the need for additional transparency. According to many studies, and there's many listed here, mRNA COVID-19 shots were associated with an excess risk of serious adverse events, including coagulation disorders, acute cardiac injuries, Bell's palsy, and encephalitis. The risk was 1 in 550 individuals. 1 in 550 individuals which is much higher than other vaccines or shots. A second study found increased acute cardiac arrest and other other acute cardiac events following mRNA COVID-19 vaccination. I will once again remind you, YouTube, I am simply reporting on what a government website, legitimate government website with the state's top doctor is reporting. All right. These are not my opinions at YouTube. This is me reporting on a official government website, quoting the literal top doctor of said state. All right. I'm going to probably have to repeat that moreover because a lot of people hate this stuff. They do. I don't care if you hate it or not. These are the facts. And we'll get to basically a counter argument from another media source. Although that media source, or I should say it like this, albeit that media source is not a professional health doctor, while the statistics that I am reporting right now from this government website is from the state's top doctor, the state attorney, the state surgeon general. Right? That's what these statistics are being reported and accumulated from. So miss me with your appeal to authority argument. I do want to get to a couple. I want this one comment. Scientific Libertarian 2.0. The only vaccine, we're going to put that in scare quotes, associated with clots is J&J, and that vaccine, quote unquote, was not an mRNA vaccine. Chances are about 1 in 1 million. That's completely false. All of that is completely false. 100%. These statistics are related to nothing that has to do with the J&J shot, which is more of a vaccine than mRNA. No, these are specifically related to mRNA shots. And no, chances in 1 in 1 million, not close. It's 1 in 500. Data. So no, you're not only just wrong, you're completely wrong on all levels. That being said, Scientific Libertarian 2.0, follow him. Great account. He's always here. We disagree a lot, especially on this stuff, but he's always here. That's a person you need to follow. If you agree with me or if you disagree with me, still need to follow them. Scientific Libertarian 2.0. You're completely wrong on all fronts, completely debunked on every level, but I love you. You're always here. Great. And what we need in this country is that. What we need in this country is conversation. We can agree and we can disagree. And yet we will still always show up for the conversation. And that's what Scientific Libertarian 2.0 does all the time, even though he's scientifically wrong and statistically on every level. That's completely incorrect. That's verifiably false on every level. Every level. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Second study found increased acute cardiac arrest and other acute cardiac events following the mRNA COVID-19 shots, because they're not vaccinations, because they changed the definition and this one might get me in trouble here, but I'm going to say it. You know what? Kick rocks. I don't care. I'm going to say it. They changed the definition of what a vaccine was. That happened while everybody was worrying about what happened in Afghanistan. The CDC and all of your quote unquote legitimate etymological resources decided they were just going to change the definition of what his vaccine was. Yeah, that happened. That happened. Go look it up. That's a fact. All right. Next study assessed the risks of thromboembolic, and thrombocytopenic events related to COVID-19 shots, because they're not vaccines, and found preliminary evidence of increased risk of both coronary disease and cardiovascular disease. So, again, as I talked about prior in the segment, or I'm sorry, in the show that I had to freaking axe because of horrible audio. My apologies, completely my fault. There's a vast difference, an extraordinary difference between what is a coronary disease and what is a cardiovascular disease. Coronary is almost exclusively to heart. Cardiovascular is almost exclusively to the pulmonary system, meaning your ability to, cardiovascular is man. I guess if I was to sum it up in like a sentence, it's basically the way you pump oxygenated blood into the body, the way you receive deoxygenated blood into the heart, and then you distribute all of that out into other organs. And so that's the most easiest way to explain that. So I'll repeat it again. Assessed the risk of thromboembolic and thrombocytopenic events related to COVID-19 vaccines and found preliminary evidence of increased risk of both coronary disease, which we just talked about, basically heart disease, and cardiovascular disease, which includes the heart, but also the lungs. While the CDC has identified safety signals for stroke among individuals 65 and older following the bivalent, I got lost in my reading there. Let me repeat. While the CDC has identified safety signals for stroke among individuals 65 and older following the bivalent boosters administration, there is a need for additional assessments and research regarding safety of all mRNA COVID-19 shots. To support transparency, the state of Florida reminds healthcare providers to accurately communicate the risks and benefits of all clinical interventions to their patients, including those associated with the COVID-19 shot, as additional risks continue to be identified and disclosed to the public. The state of Florida remains dedicated to protecting communities from the risks of COVID-19 and other public health concerns, specifically by promoting the importance of treatment and promoting prevention through healthy habits. We encourage our healthcare partners and providers to do the same. I'm going to come back to that. But first, let's check your comments. There are a lot of them. I can't even get to. All right. Yeah. There's so many. I just can't. I would love to. I just can't. But let me just say this. Oh, that's a good one right there. Tech Time with Eric. I noticed that the flu shot is not the flu vaccine, quote unquote, now too. Yes, it never has been because it's not a vaccine, and neither is the China virus shot. Let me get to Scientific Libertarian 2.0. Let me go to this one first, real quick. The mRNA shots are associated with a 73 in 1 million chance of mild. That's just verifiably false. It's not. It's verifiably false. Like on every level. Love you, bro, but that's just completely wrong. All right, again from Scientific Libertarian 2.0, who I love very much, but we disagree on this subject adamantly. The association part is considered an association when it is above the normal level of clots in the general population. You can't say it has association if they're below population. No, that's just not that's not right. That's mental gymnastics. Man, my bro, you are a great person and a great intellectual mind. You got to come to terms with the fact that you were lied to. This is inherently and verifiably false. The association part. You answered the question in the very first 3 words. The association part. No, it is just associated. It's considered an association when it is above the normal. It's okay. All right. We're going to move on from there because it's just verifiably false. It's not in any realm of actual reality whatsoever, or verified truth, or scientific database whatsoever. What I am quoting from a literal government health agency, whom I do not trust, right? But in this instance, they want to give you the truth because this is coming from a state of a person that wants to run for president. Let me remind you of that, okay? That's the big reminder. You're coming from Florida, Ron DeSantis, who wants to run for president. So yes, he's going to want this information out there because you still have Trump out there touting these shots, which are horribly ineffective and caused real damage. This isn't, I'm making up. Everyone knows this. At this point, if you're denying it, you're just in a cult. I'm sorry that you got fooled. But let's go. Let's go. On to the next mission. Because you were fooled. And I can prove it. Because here's the response. Here's the immediate response from the little freaking big pharma media minions. Immediately. And like I said, this is breaking news that nobody else is talking about. All of this is going to be talked about this week. I guarantee you. Because nobody else is doing the things that this department of this state is doing. I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan. He scares me. He's too damn good at his job. He's a freaking master politician. I can't stand that. That scares the hell out of me. But the reason he's so damn good at it is because he will activate even his own health department to say, I want the facts out there. Because you know what? He's going to run against Trump in the primaries. And Trump is still out there touting the warp speed, which is an unmitigated, deadly disaster. Prove it. Prove it. Stop. You lost. You lost. That's it. Pro-shot people. You lost. It's over with. You're done. You lost. All of the information is out there. So is it a surprise to you that the state of Florida is using their health department to put out actual data from a VAERS system that we have used for decades? Decades. but now all of a sudden it's unreliable. Let's talk about it. Florida Surgeon General cites database with unverified reports in latest COVID shot warning. This is from Tampa Bay 10, WTSP.com. If these are the people you're siding with, instead of the truth, instead of, in spite, let me say it like that, in spite of everything that's been shoved in your face, and you're still going to be a cultist, you're siding with Tampa Bay 10. And all you really are, as I said, as I alluded to already, are just little media minions for a big pharmaceutical company. That's it. Period. Excuse me. Let's read. The state's top health official said that the unverified reports show more research is needed on the shot. But every time I say shot, you know the substitute of what I'm saying, because it is not what they say. It is a shot, just like the flu shot. And long-term effects. Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo is warning of an increase in instances of adverse side effects he says are linked to the mRNA COVID-19 shots, citing unverified reports from a government database. I could just sit here and blank stare at this screen for minutes. Minutes. Let me repeat. Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo is warning of an increase in instances of adverse side effects he says are linked to the mRNA COVID-19 shots, citing unverified reports from a government database. Do I need to go on? I'm going to anyway. Because it's just to show you how disgusting these people are. They will just shove lies in danger, in life-threatening situations right in your face. They do not care whether or not you die or your kids die. And they admit it in their own effing reports. They'll tell you that the government institutions are the only ones that you can support. And then in the same freaking breath, they tell you, citing unverified reports from a government database. Pick one. I'm so freaking sick of this. You're liars. You're disgusting, evil, manipulative, human-killing liars. In a letter this week addressed to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and the FDA, so the CDC and the FDA, Ladapo wrote, quote, researchers throughout our country and around the globe have seen troubling safety signals of adverse events surrounding this shot. He went on to write that those concerns are, quote unquote, corroborated by the substantial increase in VAERS reports from Florida, including life-threatening conditions, end quote. VAERS is the Vaccine Adverse Effects Report System. VAERS is the, I guess I could have read the next sentence, right? VAERS is the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, a database managed by the CDC and the FDA. Any person can report any adverse event that occurs after vaccination to the VAERS site to be further investigated. It does not prove causation. University of Michigan epidemiologist Dr. Arnold Malto previously explained to 10 Tampa Bay, quote, the VAERS system is set up to be open-ended. In other words, you can report anything that occurs after vaccination, Monto said. But that's only the first step. Then, quote, then you have to figure out whether it's really related to the vaccination or not. Motto said, you need the second step, doing the analysis. Even though he gave it to you. I'm so done with these people. According to the CDC, nearly 42 million COVID-19 shot doses have been administered in Florida. The CDC told our Verify team the agency is aware of some reports of long-term illnesses that have been submitted to VAERS after immunization. But those accounts are quote unquote variable and no specific medical cause for symptoms has been found, end quote. Man, look. I'm cannot express to you how much I'm done. I'm literally done. Scientific Libertarian 2.0, who's disagreeing, I literally just said what you read in different words. Yes, that's exactly the point. They contradict themselves in every single article. My man, that's exactly the point I'm making. I want to say so much, but how can I? Because I'm not allowed to say it. And I have to even be careful with the words I say from a government website. The breaking news, just to reiterate, if you can hear me still, you have a government website telling you giving you a literal health alert where their VAERS reporting system had spiked 4,400% after 2020. Do the math. Don't dig your heels in the sand. None of you. You're just wrong. And we told you. We told you. Does that mean that every single person that gets a shot is going to be at risk? No, obviously not. Obviously not. I'm someone who vehemently advocated for people that were over the age of 70 to get it. Not now. Because we have actual data and not your pseudo-scientific analysis. This is major breaking news. The reason I say that is because you now have an official government site telling you that they are literally announcing a public health warning against the mRNA shots. What kind of precedent will that set? And I hope that precedent is massive. I hope it's in every state. Every state. I like this. Yes. Tech Time with Eric. Even Ben Shapiro is starting to backtrack on his position on the shot. Yes, he is. Thank God. Yeah, because it's deadly. And it does not prevent transmission. It does not prevent contraction. And according to YouTube, leave me alone. According to the Washington Post, the leading demographic of death with COVID, because remember, barely anybody, if anybody, dies from COVID. They die with COVID. The leading demographic of death with COVID since August to now, according to the Washington Post YouTube, are the vaccinated. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? You can. There's not much else I want to say. I screwed up the first, airing of the show via audio issues because I didn't have. I'll be honest with you. For whatever reason, I guess I was charging the laptop, doing other things. Forgot to plug my microphone in. I did. That was on me. On me. But here we are. Still many, many live viewers. So what do you want me to say? I don't know what else we're supposed to say to inform y'all. I really don't know. That's the data. Either you like science and you appreciate actual science and actual data, or you reject it wholly. Now, the issue lies within whether you think that that data and that science is just right wing. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. I'm a libertarian. I don't care about your freaking political preference. I care about people. And I want to see them be good and live. And I don't want them getting some sort of quote unquote medication that might cause them more harm than good. And by all statistical data, we are seeing that some of these quote unquote medications are causing more harm than good. And it's not particularly close. I'm really sick of this argument. I'm really glad that I'm not a DeSantis fan. Let me finish that thought. I'm really glad that a state government is finally starting to say we need to have some sort of in-depth scientific and precautionary analysis to these sorts of quote-unquote treatments. That being said, I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan. I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell you why. And I'll end it on this note. I probably won't. Probably talk a little bit more, but I'll tell you why I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan. And some of you are gonna find this kind of alarming, and I hope enlightening. Right? Ron DeSantis is a master politician. Don't forget, he's a JAG. He's an attorney general. He's up one of the highest positions in the military. He did that. He's also a middle infielder for the University of Yale. And if you don't know anything about baseball, baseball is one of the most intelligent sports on the planet. I played it for a long time. It's ridiculously difficult. It requires a level of mental acuity that is not really seen in many other sports, or at least outside of specific positions in sports. And he was a top baseball middle infielder specifically for Yale and graduated high. He has done absolutely masterful technician work within government in his state. He flipped a purple state absolutely red in like 4 years. He scares me. Just being honest with you. He scares me. He's too damn good at his job. I don't like it. I'm glad that the people of Florida appreciate what he's done for them. That much I very much do. Very much appreciate it. I'm glad that he's done the things that you want him to do, that you have hired him to do, that you have elected him to do. 100%. I'm very glad for you in Florida, for those that have elected Ron DeSantis. I'm telling you right now, that man scares me. He scares me worse than Trump, to be honest. It scares me. I don't know if he scares me more than the Democrats, because progressives are hell-bent on ruining this country from in every aspect that we consider any level of freedom to be had, right? There's something about DeSantis. He's too damn good at being a politician. I'm not trying to influence you. Obviously, I want you to vote for the libertarian candidate or a third-party candidate. I want to dismantle the system. This duopoly is a cancer to our society. It's destructive in all aspects of its nature. You vote how you want. I'm just warning you. That dude is scary because he's too damn good at his job. But I still encourage you to reach deep within your community, within the people that surround you, at your gas station, at your grocery store, that you develop a new system and that you encourage these people from the bottom up, every fiber of your being, to reach out to your own community within the inches around you. Deregulation. We don't need more legislative laws. We don't need more legislation. We need deregulation, and we need it now. With that being said, what's happening in Florida, what I just went over, that's a win. That's a win. Because if you care about the health of humanity, if you care about your loving neighbor, and you care about what's happening in our society and this country today, that's an absolute win. Because now you have an official site telling you, giving you, in the headlines, health warning. Warning. That's a win. I went on that rant to illustrate the fact of how much I appreciate that win of the warning, but also for everyone to be on guard that isn't the end. We're just at the beginning. And we need to be wary of what might come because of the adoration of what I just broke, that breaking news. Don't fall into the trap of how excellent that breaking news is, because that news is excellent. It is fantastic. We finally have an official government state website saying, warning. But don't fall victim to what might come next, because we have no idea. I do not play lightly with these politicians because I don't trust them. I will judge their actions and the merits based upon them, upon each individual action that they present to me. This good action. Good action. Now, the next action that comes across my wire that I will snatch off and present to you, hence off the wire, may be totally different. I don't trust these people. I like this one. We will judge the next one accordingly. Now, I love you very much. I love this audience very much. This has been a massively live show, despite the fact that I screwed up the audio and we had to start completely over. That's incredible. That's incredible. Can't thank you enough. Be warned. Critically think. Do not stop your own research. Period. Because it's the only way we can save the country in the most broadest definitive answer I can give you, right? There's many ways that we can co-op together and we can do things and we can walk in step and save the country, or at least delay the inevitable, depending on what kind of pill you take. If you're taking the white pill or the black pill, right? If you're taking a white pill, then we're just in one step in the right direction. If you're taking the black pill, then guess what just happened? You've just consumed a white pill that will slow your black pill down. And so we must keep fighting. We must keep fighting. Follow my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the show. Share it. Like it. Follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Basically everywhere you can get your podcasts. What a great show. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to break even more big news to you. I'll see you same Cajun time, same Cajun channel every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 Central for the massively popular live show that this is, Off the Wire. Also, don't forget that every Monday through Friday at noon Central, I will air a little tiny 5 to 10 minute segment every day at noon Central, Monday through Friday. Just a little fun segment. So, sub to the channel, share it, like it, talk to your friends about it. I love you very much.